My girlfriend threw my anniversary gift in the trash, then demanded I buy her something real. Hi, I'm Matthew, 27, and 3 weeks ago my girlfriend threw her anniversary gift in the trash and called it cheap junk. It was a $5,000 vintage necklace. She held the box like it might bite her. We were sitting across from each other at a cozy little Italian spot, the kind with candles stuck in wine bottles and a guy in the corner playing piano like he owed the keys money. I handed her the box after dessert, trying not to smile too hard. I'd spent months finding it. An Art Deco piece from the 1920s. White gold, real sapphires, tiny diamonds, delicate as a spiderweb. She used to love vintage stuff, estate sales, flea markets, things that smelled like stories. She opened the box. Her face changed. "Is this costume jewelry?" she asked, holding it up like it had germs. "No," I said. "It's real. From the 20s. White gold." She cut me off. "It looks like something from a discount rack. The kind that turns your neck green." I blinked. "It's authentic. I had it cleaned, appraised, certified." She pushed the box back across the table like it offended her. "I deserve designer. Cartier. Tiffany. Not this." People turned to look. I felt my ears burning. She got up and said she was going to the bathroom, told me to think about whether I was ready for a real relationship with real gifts. She left me there with the necklace and a waiter who kept pretending not to listen. I sat there for a minute. Just sat. Then I picked up the box, paid the check, and left. Back home, I looked at the necklace again. 3 months of planning, 2 weeks of negotiations, $5,000, and she thought it was trash. The next morning, I took it back to the jeweler. He offered me $4,200. I took it. Asked for an itemized receipt, too. Then I drove to her place. Used the key she gave me last year. Left the receipt on the kitchen counter. She called me 14 times that night. The last one I picked up. "You returned it? You spent $5,000 and returned it? You said it was junk," I said. "Thought I'd take out the trash." She went quiet. Then she said something that made my stomach drop. "Well, get me something else. Something real this time." I hung up. The escalation didn't creep, it sprinted. 2 days after I left that receipt on her counter, she showed up at my apartment. No text. No warning. Just angry knuckles on my door like the UPS guy from hell. I opened it. She pushed past me like she still lived there. "We need to talk," she said, standing in the middle of my living room like she was staking a claim. "No," I replied. "We really don't." She crossed her arms. "You embarrass me. I told my friends you got me something nice, and then I had to lie and say I lost it because I wasn't about to admit my boyfriend gave me thrift store garbage." I stared at her. "You mean the authenticated 1920s necklace from a specialist jeweler that I saved for 3 months to buy?" Her mouth twisted. It looked cheap. I laughed. I actually laughed. "No, it looked vintage. Which is what you said you loved before you started measuring love in carats and logos." She narrowed her eyes. "You're overreacting. I never said I didn't like it, I cut her off. "You called it junk. You said you deserved designer. You pushed it across the table like it insulted your existence. Because I thought it was fake. But you didn't ask. You just assumed and trashed it. Now you find out the price, and suddenly you're sentimental?" She had the gall to look offended. "You should have told me it was expensive." I tried. "You weren't listening." Then she said it. The line that would cement this breakup in the "no contact forever" category. "You owe me a real gift." That wasn't one. And right then I was done. Done with the tantrums. Done with the brand worshipping. Done with trying to date someone who treated emotional depth like a clearance rack at Saks. "We're done," I said. "Not just this conversation. Us." She froze. "You're breaking up with me, over a necklace?" "No," I said calmly. "I'm breaking up with you because the necklace showed me exactly who you are." She blinked. Calculating. "Fine," she said, storming toward the door. "But you'll regret this." She slammed it on her way out. I poured a drink and sat on the couch, waiting to feel something. All I felt was relief. Until the text started. Day 3 was when it stopped being petty and started getting scary. It started with a group chat. She added me, her 2 best friends, her mom, and somehow, my friend Kevin from college. The message? Since Matthew refuses to communicate like an adult, we're staging an intervention. Everyone here cares about us and wants to see us work this out. I left the chat before I finished reading the second sentence. Seconds later, individual texts lit up my phone like it was auditioning for Times Square. Her mom. Matthew, please stay in the chat. We all want to help mend this. Her best friend number 1. This is important. Don't be immature. Her best friend number 2. You owe her a chance to explain. Kevin. Bro. I didn't agree to this. She just added me. I texted him back. Same. I'm out. He replied. She's off her rocker. Block time? Already on it. But it didn't stop there. That evening, my credit card buzzed with a fraud alert. $3,200. Jewelry store. I checked my wallet. Card was there. I called the credit card company immediately. Yes, sir. It was an in-person purchase made about 2 hours ago at a high-end store downtown. Reverse it, I said. It's fraud. Do you suspect someone has access to your card information? Oh, I know exactly who. Not an hour later, she called. I picked up, curious, stupid. She sounded excited. Like she was proud. I fixed everything, she said. I got a Tiffany bracelet. Charged it to your card. We're even now. You what? You felt bad about the necklace. I wanted to show you I forgave you. You used my credit card without permission. Oh, stop. Couples share finances. We're not a couple. That's just because you're being petty. You committed credit card fraud. It was a gesture. I hung up. 10 minutes later, her mom called. You filed a police report on my daughter? No. I filed a fraud report. Because she stole from me. She's heartbroken. She was just trying to make things right. With my money? Without asking? She thought you'd be grateful. I'm not. I want her to return the bracelet. Today. Or this goes legal. I hung up again. 2 hours later, I got a call from the credit card company. Mr. Walker? The charge has been reversed. The merchant confirmed the item was returned. Good. But that should have been the end. It wasn't. Because the next day, she tried to get a new key to my apartment. I was eating leftover Thai on my couch when the front desk called. Hi, Mr. Walker. There's a woman here saying she lives in your unit. She claims she lost her key and needs a replacement. I closed my eyes. Describe her. They did. Yep. Her. Do not give her a key. I said. She's my ex. She does not live here. Please ask her to leave. Understood. I hung up and immediately checked my doorbell camera feed. The building upgraded to app access last year. Best decision they ever made. There she was, standing at the desk, arguing with the poor concierge like she was auditioning for Real Housewives of Delusion County. Then security walked over. She threw her hands up, turned away, stormed out of the lobby. But she wasn't done. 10 minutes later, my camera caught her on my hallway floor. She strode up to my door and knocked. Then pounded. Then shouted. I know you're in there. You can't avoid me forever. I wasn't home. That would have been a nightmare. I was at my friend Kevin's place watching basketball. We both stared at the feed, and he said the thing I'd been thinking all week. Dude, she's unhinged. She knocked for 5 solid minutes. Then slid something under the door. A letter. I got home around 11 p.m., picked it up off the floor. 3 pages. Front and back. Her handwriting looping like the pen was having a nervous breakdown. Highlights included. You've changed. All my friends' boyfriends treat them better. I'm willing to forgive you if you apologize and buy me something meaningful. You're punishing me for a misunderstanding. You're being dramatic. And my favorite. I won't let you throw away what we have. I took photos. Saved them. Just in case. The next morning, I got a text from Kevin. She came to my job, bro. Apparently she showed up at his office building and asked reception to page him because she needed help. Talking sense into me. He told her to leave before he called security. She told him he was a bad friend. Then she got escorted out. And as if the universe said, let's crank it up one more notch. My mom called that night. She reached out to me. My mom said. She said you were having communication issues and wanted my advice. I pinched the bridge of my nose. What did you say? That if you broke up with her, you had a reason. And she should respect it. Good. And should I block her? Yes. Immediately. The next morning, before work, I emailed a lawyer. Not to sue. Not to press charges. Just to understand my options in case this escalated further. My gut said it would. Unfortunately, my gut was right. Because the following week, she bought the vintage necklace back and paid $8,000 for it. The necklace showed up on my doorstep in a matte black box, nestled in tissue paper like a peace offering from the Queen of Denial. There was a note. I bought it back. See? I do appreciate it. Let's move forward now. I'm sorry. Let's talk. No signature. Just that fake elegance she'd mastered, handwritten in perfect cursive, like a formal RSVP to someone else's boundaries. I stared at it for a long time. She tracked down the collector who bought it. Tracked them down. And somehow convinced them to sell it back. I called the estate jeweler to confirm. He sounded half impressed, half unnerved. She came in a few days ago asking about the necklace. I told her I couldn't disclose customer info, but she kept pushing. Next thing I know, she's offering double. How much did she end up paying? I asked. He paused. $8,000. Cash. I sat down. Wow. Did you want to buy it back from her? No, I said. I just wanted to know. Later that night, my phone rang. Her. I picked up. You got the necklace? She asked, smug but soft. I did. See? She said. I care. I got it back for you. You got it back for you. That's not fair. Really? You didn't want the necklace when you thought it cost $50. You only wanted it when you found out it cost $5,000. Then you spent $8 to prove a point. I spent $8 because I love you. Or because you love winning. Why are you being like this? Because you're acting like buying the necklace back erases everything else. It doesn't. Silence. Where did you get the money? I asked. Pause. Then, my parents. You borrowed $8,000 from your parents to buy back a necklace you threw away? I wanted to fix things. You wanted control. I could hear her breathing shift, that panicky inhale when she realized the conversation wasn't going her way. I got the necklace back. She said again, like repeating it might change reality. And I'm not keeping it. What? I'm selling it. Again. You wouldn't. Watch me. I hung up. Drove straight to the estate jeweler the next morning. Walked in holding the same necklace. The guy blinked like he was in a time loop. You want to sell it again? Yup. How much? $4,000. He didn't even haggle. Done. He shook his head while writing the check. This necklace has got more drama than a soap opera. Tell me about it. But I wasn't done yet. That night, I made one last phone call to her dad. Her dad answered on the second ring. Hello? Hi. This is Matthew. I'm your daughter's ex. Pause. Oh. I just wanted to let you know something, since she probably hasn't. He made a tired sound. The kind that says you're not wrong, but I already know this isn't going to be good. She told me you loaned her $8,000 to buy back a necklace. Right. She said it was important to your relationship. She didn't tell you we broke up 3 weeks ago, did she? Dead silence. No, he said slowly. Well, we did. She called the original gift cheap junk, trashed it, then went nuclear after I returned it. She only tried to buy it back once she knew the price. It wasn't about love. It was about being right. I see. I just thought you should know where that money went. And now I'm not getting back together with her. I never agreed to any reconciliation. I didn't even know she was planning this. More silence. Then, thank you for telling me. We'll speak with her. Appreciate it. We hung up. And then, blissful silence. For 3 whole days. No texts, no calls, no mysterious charges, no driveway ambushes. I started to think it might actually be over. Until I got a message from her best friend asking to meet for coffee. Against my better judgment, I said yes. Public place. Middle of the day. Neutral ground. She showed up looking more nervous than smug for once. Thanks for meeting me, she said, sitting down with her latte and an expression like she was trying to read a courtroom jury. What's this about? I asked. She's unraveling, she said. I'm not surprised. She's been crying nonstop. Her parents are furious about the money. They want her to pay it back, but she spent most of her savings on the necklace. And that's my problem, how? It's not, she said quickly. But she's a mess. She really loved you. No, I said. She really loved what I could give her. There's a difference. She nodded slowly, then added, I think she genuinely thought buying the necklace back would fix everything. I sipped my coffee. You can't buy back trust. Or respect. Or 3 weeks of full-blown madness. She's not the same since you left. I wasn't trying to change her. I was just trying to leave. She looked at me for a long second. So you're really done? I've been done. Everyone else just hasn't accepted it. We sat there in the quiet clinking of spoons and espresso cups. I'll tell her to stop, she said. Thanks. As she left, she paused at the door and said, She'll probably never get it, you know. I know. But I didn't need her to. Because later that night, I got the final message from her. The text came at 11:42 p.m. One of those late night, I've run out of moves kind of messages. I get it. You're not coming back. Fine. I'll stop trying. But I want you to know that you gave up on something real. You gave up on us over something stupid. And you're going to regret it when you realize what you lost. I stared at it for a while. Then I typed. I didn't give up on something real. I walked away from something fake. A real relationship doesn't fall apart because someone judged a gift by its price tag instead of its meaning. A real relationship doesn't involve theft, stalking, or treating people like ATMs with emotional footnotes. I hope someday you understand that love isn't a brand and people aren't shopping trips. Then I hit send, opened my contact list, and blocked her number. Then I blocked her on Instagram. Then Facebook. Then Venmo. Because yes, she had sent me a payment request for emotional damages. I blocked her mom. Blocked both of her best friends. Then I sat in the dark for a while, sipping a glass of bourbon and listening to the low hum of the fridge, the gentle clink of ice against glass. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel heartbroken. I felt like someone who had just put down a weight they'd been carrying for so long they forgot what lightness felt like. I thought about the necklace. How it started as a symbol of love and turned into a chess piece in her ego war. I thought about how she'd called it junk. How she never even held it long enough to see the engraving on the back. Tiny and delicate. To Clara, with a love that won't tarnish. She never saw that part. Because she never looked close enough. The next morning, I woke up to a message from the estate jeweler. Necklace sold. 3rd time's the charm. Then, a follow-up text. Funny thing, the new buyer specifically asked about the story behind it. I told her it had a journey. She said that made her love it even more. Said every piece should have a story. I smiled. Some people get it. Some don't. And I was done trying to make someone pretend they did. That necklace really was the perfect metaphor. Beautiful. Timeless. Undervalued by someone who couldn't see past the lack of a logo. And eventually, appreciated by someone who could. The day after it sold, I moved the $4,000 from the jeweler into my savings account, right under the label. Peace of Mind Fund. Figured it was fitting. Then I took the old gift receipt, the one I'd left on her kitchen counter weeks earlier, and shredded it. It didn't feel like holding on to a receipt anymore. It felt like holding on to a memory of someone who never really saw me. I sat down at my desk and looked around my apartment. It was finally quiet. No vibrating phone. No dramatic knocks on the door. No guilt texts from her mom or group chat ambushes or desperate letters pushed under my threshold like junk mail from a broken heart. Just me. My space. My peace. You'd think I'd be angry still. Bitter. But I wasn't. Because the truth was, her behavior taught me something I should have learned sooner. Love without respect is just performance. And I'd been an unwilling extra in someone else's show for too long. She hadn't loved me. She loved what I did for her. The dinners. The gestures. The curated surprises she could brag about. But when faced with something that didn't look expensive, she didn't ask. She didn't trust. She judged. And then she spiraled. The stalking, the fake charges, the surprise visits, the attempted manipulation by buying back the necklace. None of it was about reconciliation. It was about control. That wasn't love. That was panic wearing lipstick. I took a walk that night. Air was cool, crisp, clear. Stars out. Nothing profound happened, no dramatic monologues to the moon. But something inside me felt different. I was free. Not just from her, from needing someone like her to validate me. Later that week, Kevin and I went out for drinks. He raised a glass to me and said, "To better taste in women." I laughed. "I'm holding out for someone who sees meaning before markup." "Damn right," he said. "Someone who knows that vintage doesn't mean worthless." And we clinked glasses. A week later, I got a text from an unknown number. Just a photo. It was the necklace. Again. But this time, it was being worn by someone else. The new owner, young woman, soft smile, short hair, standing in front of a window with a breeze blowing her curtains. The necklace caught the light, and it looked exactly like it was meant to, old, elegant, proud of its story. Underneath the photo was a message. "Just wanted you to know, this piece is loved. I collect vintage, and this one has a soul. The jeweler said it had quite the journey. I think that makes it even more beautiful." No name. No handle. Just appreciation. Pure. Quiet. Whole. I stared at it for a while and felt this weird lump in my throat. Not sadness. Not regret. Closure. The necklace found someone who saw it. Maybe someday I would too. And as if the universe was listening, I got another message. This one from Kevin. "Dinner tonight? I'm bringing a friend. Be normal." I replied. No promises. Dinner was chill. Low-key place. Burgers and beer. His friend was cool, funny, quick, easy to talk to. We joked about cursed exes, and I told the necklace story. She didn't flinch or pity laugh. Just nodded and said, "Sounds like she wanted a trophy more than a relationship." Exactly. At the end of the night, she looked at me and said, "You know, if I got something like that necklace, I'd never take it off." I smiled. Yeah, me neither. It wasn't a movie ending. We didn't kiss. We didn't plan a wedding. We just agreed to see each other again. And that was enough. Because for once, I wasn't chasing someone who needed to be convinced. I was just meeting someone new. From scratch. Without apology. Without the need to prove anything. Just showing up as myself. And watching who stays. 3 weeks after she stopped texting, calling, knocking, charging, guilt-tripping, and letter sliding, I did something I hadn't done in months. I cleared my camera roll. Deleted the photos of the necklace in its velvet box. Deleted the dinner selfie where she made me retake it 6 times to get the lighting right. Deleted the screenshot of her texts calling me a broke romantic with a savior complex. It didn't feel like erasing. It felt like exfoliating. That same night, I hung a new picture on the wall above my desk. Not of her. Not of anyone. It was a framed print of that necklace, captured from the jeweler's listing photo. Sharp, elegant, black and white. Underneath it, I wrote in my own hand. It wasn't junk. You just didn't look close enough. Every day since, I've passed it on the way to my coffee pot. It's not a reminder of heartbreak. It's a checkpoint. A simple, clean line between who I used to be, the guy who overexplained, overgifted, overaccommodated, and the guy I am now. The one who walks away when someone mistakes gold for garbage. At work, things got easier too. Fewer late nights. More time for friends. Kevin introduced me to more people, normal ones, people who didn't think communication meant conference calls with 6 of their relatives and a group text with their esthetician. I even went on a date. Not with the girl from dinner, though we're still texting. Different person. Sweet. Low-key. Met at a used bookstore. She asked about the print on my wall during a FaceTime. When I told her the story, she laughed. Not mean, not judgmental, just this quiet, warm sound that said, "God, people are weird and you didn't deserve that." Then she said, "You ever gonna buy another necklace for someone?" I thought about it. "Yeah," I said. "Someday." She nodded. "Make sure she sees it the first time." Exactly. And that was it. No drama. No performance. Just connection. The real kind. Not the gift-wrapped illusion of it. A month later, I took the necklace's framed photo off my wall. Not because I was over it, because I didn't need it anymore. I knew what it meant. I knew who I was before, and who I'd become. That story was written, learned, and shelved. That girl from the bookstore? We're still seeing each other. It's early, but it's easy. No ultimatums, no silent punishments over imperfect gifts. She once gave me a second-hand book with notes in the margins from the previous owner, and I swear it meant more to me than a Tiffany bag ever could. Not because of the price. Because she thought I'd like the story, That's the difference. My ex once said I'd regret walking away. She was wrong. What I regret is not walking sooner. Because a real relationship doesn't need a price tag to prove its value. It needs someone who sees you, listens, stays. The necklace is gone. But the lesson? That's mine forever. And now, when I think back to that night, the candlelight, the box across the table, the sound of her voice saying, "I don't wear cheap junk," I don't feel rage anymore. Or sadness. I just feel distance. And clarity. And a deep, unshakable peace that says, thank God she showed me who she was before I gave her anything more.